The purpose of this video is to show you how to qualify a sales contact. So I'm going to start by going in and see if I can find a sales contact that we can qualify. I'm just going to search for all of them. And we're going to bring them all up, and then we'll just sort them based on perhaps just on the status, which is that they are in fact a prospect. So if I just start typing in prospects under the status category, I can see that I have a whole host of different prospects here. I'm going to pick Mr. Jedediah Ranger, and I want to have a look and see if I can, in fact, that's not actually a good choice. It's not even close to any of our towers. I'm going to search for somebody else. I'm going to go back and search once again, see if I can find somebody else. So give me just a second here. And again, I'm going to look for a prospect. And I'm going to see if I can find somebody actually living within the network. I would say that this Roger Rabbit guy right here probably is someone who could receive inside the network. So what you can see is that in the other picture, it was actually bringing up Arizona. This one is where an old piece of our network used to reside. So you can see the different access points and the towers located here. What I want to do is the first thing I need to do is to make sure that I have Mr. Rabbit at the right location. So I'm going to edit using the map. I'm going to swing the map over to a hybrid version. I'm going to ask Mr. Rabbit, have I picked the right location? And if I haven't, what I will do is I will click on the button over here on the left-hand side that says click when done. Actually, I've already clicked it, I guess. I'm going to bring this down here, and Mr. Rabbit lives in this rabbit hutch right there. And so once I've completed that, I'm now going to click on complete when done, and then I'm going to qualify this. This is obviously a fairly tall building. It's 2 stories. It's some sort of commercial building. I'm going to identify the surface off the ground there where we're going to have our service connection probably at about 35 or 40 feet. Again, this RX elevation, that's the receive elevation of the signal. I'm going to put that in at 45 feet just because I'm well off the ground, and I'm going to hit go. When I do that, it actually will identify all of the access points that can provide service to that location. And so in this particular case, there are 3 access points, and you can see where the tower assignments are for each of those access points. This one's basically right down the throat of the antenna, because you can see that this is the antenna profile where it can provide service. The lines on the edges are the 3 dB points on signal strength on those antenna profiles. So I have one access point here, I have an access point here. Actually, this is like in the best place you could be. It's down the azimuth of 3 access points on 3 different towers. If there had been more towers or more access points that could have provided service at that location, they also would have shown up. So once I do that, I can see that this is the qualification, line of sight qualification that we get from that. On the left-hand side, this is the tower location on the left-hand side. This is Mr. Rabbit's location on here on the right-hand side. The red lines are the line of sights between those 2 locations. The blue lines, first Fresnel, and typically for point to multi-point, the first Fresnel doesn't make much difference. The clutter, however, does make a difference. This is the clutter that's associated with the relative average heights of 15 different kinds of trees in urban development underneath each of the access points. Each access point can have its own set of average tree heights and forested heights as well. And then last but not least, of course, I have the ground terrain. So for a line of sight requirement on a 2.4 or a 5.8 service, you can see that Mr. Rabbit probably could very well receive service from this profile, which is CV1, and that is coming off one of those access points. In addition, across the bottom, this is the distance in miles from the tower to the location of Mr. Rabbit's house. Can Mr. Rabbit receive service? Absolutely.